How you doing? I'm CK with Anion Extraction Systems, and today we're on site here at Perpetual Motion Pumps to show you a couple different pumps that they have to offer. Now we have the big boy here is going to be the Prophet, and the slightly smaller one here is going to be the Prodigy. Now the difference between these the main difference is actually going to be the compound staging. So this is a single stage pump. The gases come in, it compresses it once, and then it puts it out. The Prophet here is a dual stage pump, so it's actually going to go through two different phases on it. This one is slightly smaller at 24 CFM, where the Prophet is 28 CFM. So in terms of the flow that they actually have, they're somewhat relatively similar. The dual stage, though, has the dual compression, and what that buys you is a bigger pressure differential between the inlet and the outlet of the pump. So on this pump, you can have deeper vacuums on the inlet, or you can have higher pressures on the outlet. So if you're running a lot of propane or a propane-heavy blend that you're running, you're going to see substantially higher output pressures. You're going to want to more lean towards the dual stage on it. With the dual stage being able to pull a deeper vacuum, that also helps out because we can actually use this pump to vacuum down the system before we even start with it. Now the Prodigy here features a 7.5 horsepower motor, and the Prophet here, the bigger one, is a 10 horsepower motor. So both of those are available with the variable speed drive. And this is an industry first and super awesome. So in addition to the on-off switch, you can actually control the speed of the pump. Now, this is a C1D1 switch, so this can go in the extraction room with you. And while you're running your extracts, if you notice that this pump, because they are huge, they're very big, if it's going a little overkill and pulling too much, you can actually dial it back and slow the pump down. Size-wise, for comparison, the largest competitor out there that we've seen that we've stacked these up against is going to be the Corken pump. The Corken pump is 7 CFM. So this guy right here is literally 4 times the size of the Corken pump. However, price-wise, it comes in right about the same price, and it's dual stage, whereas the Corken pump is actually only a single piston, single stage. That's why Anion decided to use these and pair these up with our systems so that we were simply giving you the best. And with having the variable speed on it, which is an industry first, there is nothing else that's in the same class that competes with these. Now with the VFD drive that comes with variable speed here, that actually is available in single phase or 3-phase. So these motors are actually 3-phase, but the VFD drive that we use for the variable speed here will actually convert that over. So if you only have single phase in your building, it'll actually convert it to 3-phase for you. And that works on both the 7.5 horsepower and the 10 horsepower motor. All right, now with the very first round of these, we did notice some issues as far as when they were under vacuum, starting to leach a little bit of oil up from the crankcase. But PM Pumps, being very receptive, they went in, they redesigned the seal pack that's on this, and then they added ventilation for the under piston skirt on these things, which prevents it from pulling any of the oil up when you run these things under vacuum anymore. So now they are fully capable of running under vacuum. In addition to that, as a secondary backup, they've placed a oil collection on or a catch can on the outlet side of it here. So any particulate, debris, oil, anything that does actually come out of this will get caught in this filter here. Now generally these stay pretty clean. However, it is really nice when you're running the extraction, having the ability, if you ever catch something in here, it won't go into your extract, and then you know we can take a look at the pump and see if there's something wrong with the pump, that it's about time for a rebuild on it. Now, because these pumps are so massive in their size, it's rare that you come across a system that can actually provide the evaporation rate that these pumps need, meaning these pumps are severely bigger than any of the extraction systems out there. Now, some of the guys at PM Pumps have sold these out to some bigger systems, and they're reporting back numbers as high as 13 and 14 pounds per minute of solvent recovery, which is absolutely insane. Most systems, you probably won't see that. We don't see that on the Anion system, and that's simply because there's just not enough surface area. However, with these pumps, because they are so big and they're capable of running under vacuum, what we end up seeing is they pull a vacuum against our collection pot. So pulling a vacuum against the collection vessel lowers the evaporative temperature on the system. So what that means is it causes the solvent to boil off more readily, more easily, and faster. So even though we're not taking up anywhere near 28 CFM that this pump provides, having the ability to pull a vacuum against it significantly speeds up the recovery process and the evaporation rate on the solvent. Now, of course, safety is always our #1 concern. Because of that, both of these pumps are C1D1 compliant, meaning they can be inside your extraction room. On top of that, both of these pumps have been PSI reviewed and are certified along with our Anion extraction system. Now, both of these pumps are capable of output of 150 PSI. The pump itself is actually capable of more than that, but keeping it compliant and with what's reasonable for the extraction environment, the output pressure reliefs on these have been set at 150 PSI. Now, the only drawback that we've seen is these pumps are so big, so fast, and can have high output pressures that they end up generating quite a bit of heat. So anything that you have on your recovery side, you need to make sure you've got plenty of cooling, whether that's, big chillers or a lot of people are using evaporative coils with dry ice. It goes so fast that you're going to need a substantial amount of cooling on the back side of it. Now, the nice thing about the PM pumps is they are not cost prohibitive to get into because they're priced, fairly well, especially for what they provide. And having the VFD drive capability, you can slow the pump down. So even if you're running a smaller system, you can get with this pump, turn it down to what your needs are, and actually adjust it variable on the fly. So if you're just doing a distillation run and you can run it a lot hotter and a lot faster, then you can run it as that. And when you're doing an actual live runs, you want to turn it down a little bit. The VFD drive makes it compatible for that. Additionally, if you upgrade your system later on down the road in the future and go to a bigger and bigger system, the pump can stay with you the whole time. This pump really fits across the broad spectrum of the industry because with the VFD drive, it has the capability to grow with you. And it's not overkill on pricing when you initially get into it. So if you guys are looking for an amazing, robust pump that will grow with you as your systems grow and is backed by unmatched customer service from these guys at PM Pumps, these are the pumps you want to roll with. Now, Anion is a certified distributor for PM Pumps. So for any of your pump needs, don't be afraid. Reach out, give us a call.